The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
1, 2, 3, 4. As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Yes, indeed. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, all of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. Yes, it is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live this morning from the Bunker Eye Studio. Once again, here it is, Thursday, November number 16 in the year of our Lord 2017. I almost said October. Kind of wish we could go back to October a little bit. But in any case, here it is in November, past the halfway mark. Next week, what are we, a week away from Thanksgiving 2017? Unbelievable already. Here it is, a dank, dark, dreary, cold Thursday morning here in northern New England. And we're expecting rain and, not to be too cold, but rain and chilly weather all through the weekend. Hopefully next weekend will be. You know what I miss? Speaking of Thanksgiving, I think all my friends and high school buddies and things, they just got old too fast. They did. We used to play, well, maybe we're all too old now, but we used to play something called the Turkey Bowl. And I'm sure this is probably a scene that's repeated all over the country. But we used to get, before everybody had Thanksgiving dinner, we'd start in the morning, probably about 10 or 11, and we'd play for a few hours. At a local elementary school, and they had a big open field that could be doubled for us as a football field, and we'd play, and we played for years. I mean, I think we were into like 20, 25 years. We actually made the local news once for doing it for so long. The only reason why we made the news is because one of our classmates became a news anchor on one of the local news stations. He caught wind that we were still playing. He knew we played in high school, but he caught wind of it that we were still playing well into, beyond our, into our 30s. And so he did a piece on us. And a few years after that, people started dropping out. And now it has probably been a decade since they played. Since we played the Turkey Bowl. But I do miss that. Getting older sucks. It's why things, time is going by too fast right now. It needs to slow down. In spite of all of the political problems we might be having right now, and in spite of all the problems that we're having with our government, I'm enjoying life to the fullest. Now, don't get me wrong. I do not fear death because I believe in heaven and hell, and I believe that Christ is my Savior, and I'm going to heaven. But I'm going to enjoy this life to the fullest for as long as God will allow me to do so. And then I am sure I will enjoy, what do they call it, the afterlife? Speaking of afterlife, we got a story here that they possibly found the remains of Buddha. Well, they were talking about doing a DNA test. Now, I don't know how they could figure out through a DNA test if it's Buddha or not. Do they have DNA of Buddha? Story didn't say. I was just wondering if they already, where would they get DNA of Buddha? Known Buddha DNA. I don't know. Well, in order for you to know who it is, you got to have some sort of, comparison. So you have to have, you got to know, have to have a DNA sample from Buddha before you can figure out if the remains that they found in this tomb are Buddha's. I would assume. Now, I'm not a DNA specialist or scientist, but I think I got that kind of science, at least the layman's terms of it, correct. You got to have a sample to compare against. Which is why you need. Well, I mentioned the other day about Bill Clinton and this young man that, he's in his 30s now. Young man says that Bill Clinton is his daddy, his biological father, and he's had his DNA tested, but they need Bill Clinton's DNA in order to prove it. So I would, just by that, I would assume that. Well, I don't know. They don't have the president's, all presidents' DNA on file. Why not? Well, they keep everybody else's once they get it. Why wouldn't they be able to have the president's DNA? This is, talk about one-sided. It's kind of like if you get arrested you could be arrested for jaywalking. Do you realize there are a lot of people that don't know this? There are a lot of people that do not know this. You could get arrested for any reason. Arrested for jaywalking. Doesn't matter. Any arrestable offense where you're arrested and your fingerprints are taken. Do you know that those fingerprints get sent to the National Archives, the FBI, and other national police agencies, if you will, and they never get destroyed? Why do you think it's so easy for people to get it? Now, I'm not blaming local cops. They don't know what the hell's going on. Most Americans don't know what the hell's going on. We've got it, and this is the whole issue with fingerprinting your child for safety reasons. That's a bunch of BS. You fingerprint your child's fingerprints stay with the government forever. And they came across with this whole fingerprint. Actually, they have a. They're now not just doing fingerprinting. Do you know you can archive your child's DNA now? You can you can have DNA taken from your child and have it archived so they can identify your kid if your kid is ever kid. That's what they're calling it, a safety type of thing. So when they find your kid, they can prove it's your kid. Well, how did we do that before? How did we prove that a stolen child belonged to the rightful parents before we took fingerprints and took DNA? So why all of a sudden now we can't do that without fingerprints or DNA? And if you don't get your child fingerprinted or DNA tagged, they're trying to make you out to be a bad parent. Kind of like if you don't get every single freaking vaccine that they tell you to get, you're a bad parent if you don't. Just pointing it out, folks. No, I'm not one of those prepper type, when the shit hits the fan type of people that are anti-government. I'm not a militia member, funny militia member. But I do have a healthy distrust of our government. And that's true of any country's government. I don't care where you're from. It's a good thing to have a good, healthy respect of your government, but a good, healthy distrust of it too. Because it's not the style of government that I distrust. It's a lot of the people that are in it. and that work for it, which is a problem because you're not supposed to be working for the government. Who do you work for? You ask them, oh, I work for the government. That's a wrong answer, actually. You don't work for the government. You work for me, the citizen. Oh, I work for the government, man. No, the government isn't an entity well, at least it's not supposed to be an entity all in of itself. Can we get that fact straightened out? We the people are the government. Government of the people, by the people, for the people type of thing. We the people are the government. The government is not supposed to be a totally, completely separate entity. I know that is what it has morphed into. By the way, Mark Cuban says that we could get away with, firing good 70% of federal workers, and our government would not really suffer without, military and is excluded. But get rid of all the bureaucrats. Our government can still fund. I agree. We have too many people that work for the government. We don't have enough people that work for the American citizen. So when somebody says that, well, who do you work for? Oh, I work for the government. Oh, you work for me? No, I work for the government. No, you work for me and every other citizen in this country. And if you're a state government employee, you're actually a state citizen employee. So I can go down, I'm near Concord, the State House, so I can walk down, go down to the court, the State House and say, hey, I want to see my employees. That's the reality. That's how it was. That is how it was designed. Is why I don't flip over backwards for trying to, what's it called? Showing respect for the office by calling a person a representative or a senator or no. It's supposed. Look, yes, we're supposed to revere higher office. We're supposed to respect things like the presidency, the office of the presidency. But understand, there is to be more respect given by those people who are in those offices back towards the people that put them there. And somehow this all got flipped around, and we make these people like celebrities and godlike, and like they're kings and queens and princes and princesses, and like they never should, leave Washington, and they have a right to be there all the time. Hey, I was elected senator, so this is my seat. It's like when Ted Kennedy was first diagnosed with his brain cancer and he was ill. Everybody in Massachusetts was talking about, well, who's going to take Ted Kennedy's seat? It's not Ted Kennedy's seat. It's one of the two senatorial seats of the people of Massachusetts. It doesn't belong to Ted Kennedy. It didn't belong to Ted Kennedy. The seat doesn't belong to anybody in particular. It belongs to the people. Well, who's going to take Jeff Sessions' seat? We're trying to get Judge Moore. It's not Jeff Sessions' seat. It's a senatorial seat that belongs to the people of Alabama. So it also doesn't belong to Mitch McConnell or anybody else. Do we have to take DNA of these people in order to prove that they're not royals? Everybody thinks that, the seat belongs to Nancy Pelosi in California. No, it doesn't. It belongs to the people of her district in California. It doesn't belong to Nancy Pelosi. We got to start understand. Look, changing the government starts with us. And if we do not detail how the government is supposed to be, then we're going to continue to have the swamp and swamp monsters infesting that swamp. It's all in our power to change things. We can complain all we want to about our government, but do you realize that there is no country on this planet where it is more simple, not necessarily easier, but more simple to change our government, the way we govern ourselves. simply by the flip of a switch in an election booth every 2 or 4 or 6 years. It's that simple. It's not hard. There's no, we don't have to pick up our rifles and fight. We don't have to try to depose a crown prince or king. All we got to do is go into a voter booth, an election booth, and vote. Regardless of who it is that's seeking the seat, we don't have to vote for them. You can vote for anybody. By the way, you don't have to vote for the two people that these stupid parties put forth. I mean, but those are the people that are always going to have a shot at winning because those are the only people that people pay attention to. Now, and I bring that up because I know there's some strong thoughts about people writing in a candidate and instead of voting for more. The problem is there is no other candidate to write in for that's going to ensure that the Democrat wins. And just saying. But we've got to change our mentality, folks. People don't work for the government. They work for us. Those elected seats don't belong to the individuals who currently occupy them. They belong to we the people. This is our government, not theirs. And it's about time we stopped complaining about it and started taking the power that belongs to us back. You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Got some stuff coming in about this, the Northern California shooter, and the conspiracy theorists are all a Twitter, as it were, with video and other things showing that, trying to prove and show that this was all this stuff was rehearsed and that this is a false flag. But I got some other information that shows the opposite, that it's not necessarily a false flag. Evidently, this guy. There are two things about this guy. What? I don't freaking know his name. I don't care about his name, actually. I'm tired of giving these people credit by naming them. Why is it these people are always end up dead? By the way, I'm getting tired of all these mass shooters who are, most of them who are not jihadists, but almost all of them are Democrats. By the way, they end up dead, so we can't question them. That's very interesting and intriguing to me. Now, supposing that there's some sort of conspiracy going on, but I just find it interesting. And maybe people need to look at this a little bit closer. But evidently, this guy was able to make his own guns, which brings up a whole new concept. It's amazing how everybody has forgotten about 3D printing. Do you know how advanced how long 3D printing's been with us for a while now, years now, more than 5. And the advances that have happened in 3D printing have come, they've been pretty quiet. But we can actually print. They print the parts, but you can print artificial limbs. That's how sophisticated 3D printing is becoming, and it's only getting better. So, yeah, you can 3D print a gun. Now, the only thing you can't 3D print I guess you can 3D print a bullet, but the only thing you can't 3D print is the accelerant or the propulsion powder, like gunpowder, basically, for it. So this guy, evidently in Northern California, made his own guns. Now, they didn't say if they were 3D printed or not, but evidently he made his own guns. So the whole notion of gun laws is out the window. And obviously, if you can make your own gun, you don't need to go to the store and buy one. Therefore, you totally can completely bypass the background check issue, right? You totally bypass it. Now, of course, there are still laws in place that say that if you're a felon, you can't be in possession of a gun. It doesn't say anything about owning it. You just can't be in possession of it. Even if you don't own it, you can't be in possession of a firearm. But that doesn't. Other people, if they can't pass it back, maybe because they're too nutso, it doesn't mean that they can't be in possession of one. So the way I understand the laws, there are laws that prevent people from getting or obtaining a gun legally. But there is no law, as far as I know, there are no laws in the books currently about making a firearm. Now, in order to make firearms and sell them, I think you have to have a federal license. But if you just make something for yourself, it's kind of like, alcohol. Well, you can make so much beer or wine for yourself and your family every year without needing any sort of license to do so. Well, I think the same thing happens with guns. Now, I would not have any clue of how you get started in making your own firearm, where you get the materials, how you fabricate them and all that kind of stuff, and make sure that they're accurate and rifling the barrel and all that. I don't know how people do that at home. I mean, I understand how it's done on an industrial level with all the wonderful equipment and robots and commercial brakes and stuff like that, commercial equipment, but I don't know how you do it at home and do it accurately. Well, obviously they used to do that. A long time ago, people used to make their own guns because they were hard to find and buy or very expensive. But nowadays you can 3D. I have seen. Well, YouTube is wonderful for this kind of stuff. I've seen 3D printed pistols, 3D printed shotguns, 3D printed rifles. There's even somebody who 3D printed a sniper rifle. Now, I don't know how well it worked, or how accurate it is. But just say, if you can start 3D printing this kind of stuff. So again, the California shooter, evidently he made at least some of his own firearms. Were the ones that he made used in perpetrating the supposed crime, the alleged crime? I don't know. I don't think anybody's saying, but I think it's something that's different. This is the first time I've ever heard of this. Somebody using a gun that they made to perpetrate a mass shooting crime. Be interesting to see how this all turns out and what Nancy Pelosi is going to say about gun laws now.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
I was sent an email and I was told that you can take that some community colleges actually have gunsmithing classes where you can actually go and learn how to do gunsmithing, make guns. Who knew? Why not? I mean, we probably don't even need to go to college. You could probably get all that stuff on YouTube if you wanted to look for it. Well, if YouTube hasn't taken, well, I'm sure it's on any sort of video service. By the way, speaking of video services, RodEccles.net, we've got the vlog plus the blog now, written blog site is back up. But vlog, what I've decided to do is we're because there's so much. Not everybody uses YouTube. Believe that or not. Not everybody likes to use YouTube, and YouTube is pretty sophisticated when it comes to taking videos down from even big people like Alex Jones or Mark Dice have even had videos removed. So what I am doing is something unique and different, offering people different venues. We will be uploading by tomorrow afternoon. What you will have is on the vlog button. You'll have the choice to view it on YouTube or was it Vimeo? How do you pronounce that? I don't know. Or I do believe. Well, we're having troubles with Flickr. I uploaded a video of me. This is hilarious. This is how bad this is getting. I uploaded a Drive with Rod video to Flickr. Flickr took it down by saying that I was not the owner of the content. And I'm thinking, wait, it's me in my car. How is it not my original content? And so when I challenged it, they sent me back a boilerplate. Upon further investigation, we have determined that this you do not own this particular video. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So we're having some issues with Flickr. I'm guessing I'm probably not going to be Flickr is owned. Isn't that a Yahoo owned thing? I think Yahoo owns Yahoo owns Flickr, right? Because Google owns YouTube. So I'm guessing I probably won't be able to upload anything to my Flickr account. So we'll be using Vimeo and YouTube, and you'll have a choice of using one of the now Periscope. Don't you have to do live stuff on Periscope? I don't know how Periscope really works. That's a Twitter thing. And there's some other services, I guess, out there that have video capabilities. Plus, I could self-host, but self-hosting a video it takes a lot of bandwidth, and it takes a lot of storage. And since I don't have my own server, and I have to use, website is hosted on somebody else's server, I have to be cognizant of bandwidth and storage and all that kind of stuff. And after a while, you have a whole bunch of videos up there, and that really, same with the audio, takes up a lot of space. So we will be having all that stuff uploaded, all the videos, and they'll be uploaded on those two services to start. So you'll have a choice of viewing it either via YouTube. You can go and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want. Now I don't know if does Vimeo have channels. I don't know. But in any case, yeah. I told you things are going to be. The website RodEccles.net was going to be growing, getting bigger. It's going to get bigger and better and badder, and it's going to be different from. I've told you before, it's going to be different from all the others out there. And this is just who else is going to give you a variety of ways of watching. archive videos. So it's getting good. We're getting good over here. Now, there'll be other stuff too. We're going to be adding different, I guess, channels, if you will, over there on the vlog site too. I may have to spin that off into its own website at some point, but for now, it's at rodeccles.net, as well as the blog. You can go and view we're uploading all blogs, blog articles that I have ever written. This is going to take, there's a whole bunch. I've gone through 2 computers, going back to all the way to 2008, even before I started this program. And we're going to be uploading now some of those are obviously outdated because they have to deal directly with Obama or Bush, but some of them don't deal directly with individuals. So some are a little outdated, but they're still fun to read because it shows you how accurate I am, or was, and still am. And some are just inspirational. So we'll be uploading all of those. Plus, we'll be uploading to a page on the web or on the site for the Intel report. I know a lot of you like the Intel report, so we'll be taking those, and they'll be the audio will be archived over there soon. All this stuff is coming, so be patient, folks. But you need to visit the site on a daily basis in order to see what's new, what's up, and what's happening. Just saying. Anyway, Hillary Clinton. The hills are alive with lying. Hillary Clinton, a spokesperson, is out there saying that, if there is a full-on formal investigation of Hillary Clinton and her dealings having to do with the DNC or Russiagate or Collusiagate or whatever, it's an abuse of power. So let me see if, they said it. So let me see if I understand this correctly. Clinton, a Clinton investigation into this mess, this nonsense, would be an abuse of power. But, hold on now. Trying to pin this on Trump and then having a fake dossier that pins Trump and then having a whole blown up 2-year investigation of Trump with no evidence whatsoever, that's not abuse of power. But seeing that there is evidence that pretty much solidifies that a crime was committed, even if it wasn't committed by Clinton, on the Clinton side, if you investigate that, that's abuse of power. Now, you must think I'm stupid. Ain't no way in hell. I mean, here's a woman that's already been shown to have done things illegally, even though Comey said, well, she didn't intend to do it. No, she didn't intend to, to break the law. She didn't really mean it. There was no malice or intent, which is a bunch of BS, but she already did it. So what if she didn't know what she was doing in this particular case? Isn't this funny? The smartest woman in the world. We're told how bright and brilliant Hillary Clinton is, and she does all this stuff, and she doesn't know what she's doing. Well, I didn't know that I didn't intend for this. I didn't know it. And if I had the chance to do it all over again, I'd do it. Well, I'll say I wouldn't do it that way, but I would. I just covered my tracks better. Now, here's a woman who's doing this stuff, doesn't even know how to cover her tracks, but she's a bright woman. She's brilliant, right? Smart. But she doesn't even know when she does something illegal. At least that's what she says. And she's supposed to be smart. Now, I'm sorry. It's just common sense for some of this stuff that she claims she had no idea. Or she didn't intend to break the law. It's just, some of it's just common sense. You don't discuss or share classified or close to classified information on an unsecure server on an unsecure public email account. That's just common sense. Well, evidently, this brilliant woman didn't have the common sense that God gave a gnat in order to figure that one out. But hey, she's a brilliant. Well, she's brilliant. Yeah, she's dumb like a fox sometimes. Let me tell you. But it's all due to the perception that the Clintons are untouchable. That's the whole perception behind this. Well, if you investigate Clinton over this is abuse of power because they're untouchable. They spend a lifetime building up this untouchable reputation. Again, I'm not saying that the Clintons are directly or indirectly responsible for the deaths or murders or accidental deaths of anybody. But let me ask you a question. If Trump had a trail of bodies as long as the Clinton trail is, do you think there would be endless investigations into Trump over that? I think so. I think if Trump, there's no list of trail of bodies behind Trump. I mean, it is at such a, well, Donna Brazile is, she said it herself. I was scared for my life when I was writing this book and it was about to come out and close my curtains. I thought about Seth Rich and she's not the only one. There are people that look around and look at there's a guy on, he follows me on Twitter and I can't remember his name, but every once in a while, he will post. No, it's on my Facebook page. Every once in a while, he will post a list of people that have had an untimely death that had ties with the Clintons. And that list is up to nearly 100 names. Now, I understand that some of them truly were accidents and some of them probably were deaths that had nothing to do with the Clintons, but it's almost as if, well, hell, if I were looking at this list and see this list, and I were to know some of the people that are now not with us, there's no way in hell I'd want to be close to or be friends with the Clintons. I'd get out from that inner and outer and far outer circle as fast as possible. I'd join some sort of relocation, the U.S. Marshals, change your identity, witness protection program. I go into a witness protection program. I'm serious. I go and hide. Because these people don't seem to have any shame. They don't have any boundaries, and they don't particularly care if they have to take you out or not. By hook or crook. And I'm not saying it's the Clintons themselves, but somebody. There are too many questionable, unsolved deaths that surround the Clinton circle. Somebody's in charge of this. Now, I'm not accusing the Clintons directly. But I mean, come on, with a wink and a nod, there are people that at least understand a wink and a nod. Now, the Clintons may say, well, hey, we don't like what this person is saying or said, take care of them. And maybe they didn't mean that they be permanently taken care of, and killed and put 6 feet under. But somebody construed that wink and nod as a removal of the person that's bothering the Clintons. I mean, every time I see this list, the guy posts it grows. It's up to nearly 100 names. And looking at the list, now I don't know if every single name on the list has a direct connection with the Clintons, but I can tell you that I know of at least 30 of the names do. They were within the Clinton circle. Now, that's enough to scare anybody. If the 100 names, you don't know them all, if those don't scare you, looking at that 25 to 30 inner circle names that you know at some point in time over the Clinton history were directly tied and connected to the Clintons that are now dead, that's enough to scare you. And all of them died an untimely death. They didn't die of disease and a heart attack, which is, you would think that they'd use those tactics more often, induce somebody to have you can do that, induce somebody to have a heart attack. And it's very difficult to detect that anything was done to induce the heart attack. Look, I watch those spy TV shows and movies and stuff, and some of that stuff is real. So yeah, and I know that people have been in car accidents, but we also know that you can mess with a car, so people get into an accident, and then by the way, I had some liberal lefty tell me that Seth Rich died of natural causes. Wasn't he shot? Now I don't know. I guess I guess the metal in the bullet is a natural element, so it would be a natural death caused by natural cause because it was a natural element that penetrated his body. Just unbelievable, and so this would be investigating the Clintons any further would be an abuse of power. But hey, let's continue investigating Trump, even though we know that the dossier is fake and that Trump had nothing to do with any of this stuff. But that's not abuse of power.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face and sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
There's a new poll out there, new Trump poll, and this is a funny one actually, because it doesn't make any sense. Now, Trump's positive numbers are in the mid to high 40s now. You know, his approval rate's way up again, especially after his trip to Asia, the successful trip to Asia, in which most of which our lamestream media tried to avoid reporting on. But there's another poll that was done, and this is the most ridiculous poll I've ever seen. I'm just going to tell you what it is. It's a poll that pits for the year 2020. It pits Donald Trump, in the presidency, Donald Trump against Joe Biden. It gives Biden 46% and Trump 35%. So are you telling me then, on Mr. Pollster, that about 10 points, 10% of the people in the polls that say that Trump is at 45, 46% approval, are you telling me that 10 points of that is going to switch to Biden? How the hell does Biden get 46%? These people, there was something in the paper pile a couple of weeks ago about how all this polling stuff, these pollsters, they got the election a year ago so wrong, but none of them are changing anything about how they do their polling. They're keeping the status quo. So they got everything wrong a year ago, in November a year ago, October a year ago, and they don't change anything to be more accurate. So they keep coming up with this stuff, like Biden is up on Trump, 46% to 35%. So are they saying they want good old, really old is the term, he's older than Trump, so they want good old Joe to run for president in 2020? Well, after all, Biden said he regrets not being president, but he doesn't regret not running for president. I don't know. Well, yeah, I do know. You get to be appointed president, I guess. Maybe Joe Biden should have gone the way of Frank Underwood from House of Cards and manipulated his way into the presidency. Without, Frank Underwood became president without being elected. I think that was Gerald Ford, too, wasn't it? Gerald Ford was appointed vice president by Nixon. Was it Agnew? Was his vice VP? Resigned for, I don't remember all those what happened back then. I was too young. But Ford was appointed the VP. And then Nixon resigned, and thus you have an unelected person as president. So this is the way Biden should have gone.
Call Rod now, 603-835-3226. Lines are open.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. the Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an A-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small. You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound.
It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
All of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastics all across the globe. Yes, it is I, your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live here for hour number 2 here on the Rod Eccles Show. Live from the Bunker Eye studio. Here it is Thursday, November number 16 in the year of our Lord 2017. Glad that you are here. Tella, you want to piss off a liberal? Just have them listen to the show. Force them to listen. You know, that's probably cruel and unusual punishment for a liberal. I was going to say, tie him down. You know, yeah. All right, I'm going to be a little bit doity here. This is what you do. If you want a liberal to take their medicine, their truth medicine without any sugar, you act like that you are going to be one of those sex robots and allow them to do whatever you want them to, or allow them to do whatever they want to do with you sexually. And then you offer to tie them up. Yeah, just tie them up to a chair or a bed, you know. Put the little blindfold over their mouth. Get an ice cube, because we got to do, what was the movie? 9.5 Weeks with Mickey Rourke and Basinger. Rourke and Basinger there. Remember that from the 80s? Yeah, that was a steamy movie. It was 9.5 weeks, right? Or 6.5 weeks, something. It was a half a week in there. So yeah, pretend like you're doing that, and then just flip the switch and turn me on. that might be like shining the light on a vampire. Just an idea. Well, I got some news here that there is a sex robot. Sex robot stores are planned to be open. I guess you go into the store, brick and mortar, and you pick. Well, you're going to be able. Now, I'm not making this up. You're going to be able to go in there and test drive a sex robot. Now, is that, well, I guess that won't be illegal. Are we going to a sex robot brothel? What is this world coming to? Look, this just proves my point. By the way, and I know some people are saying, well, what point is that? The point is that humans haven't changed. We're the same today as we were 10,000, 5,000, 5 years ago. We haven't. The only thing that has changed is technology. Have we had brothels and prostitution ever since probably there has been civilization? Yeah. So what's different about us today? The only thing that's different is technology. So instead of using a real human being, we're using a robot. Now, most of the robots are female. However, they have some anatomically correct male robots that they should. I can't imagine a woman going into a sex brothel, robot brothel, and just... Yeah, well, anyway. There you have it. So I'm sure they'll probably pop up in Vegas first. I don't. Yeah, sorry I even brought that to you. I have no idea what the hell is happening to this world when we start having stuff like this, as well as the stories coming out that there are, killer robots. Killer drones. We've had movies all through since the 80s about killer drones and killer robots and pilotless, killer satellites and things like that. We've had comedies and dramedies and thrillers based on this kind of stuff. Val Kilmer was in a comedy about that where they took over a killer satellite and they put popcorn in a professor's house, and the killer satellite used a laser and the house became full of popcorn. Now that's not possible, but yeah. And then of course we had a Tom Selleck movie where they had robots. With Gene Simmons was the villain. Robots. By the way, those types of robots that was in that. What was that Tom Selleck movie? Where Gene Simmons was the bad guy and Tom Selleck was a cop trying to stop him. And Gene Simmons was a genius, and he had these little robots that looked like, mechanical spiders, basically. And they would run around, and they would attack people, the target, by injecting acid and poison into them, and then the robots would die after they injected the people. But we have those now, by the way. Yeah, it's interesting. What once, not too long ago, was science fiction, even the bad stuff, is now science fact. They're building, they've got miniature, we're not supposed to know this, but they have miniature little, tiny little drones, if you will. They're robots, the size of insects with cameras on them. That's no longer science fiction either. So, but why do we do all of this stuff? Why? Because man hasn't changed. We're still as possessive, still as violent, still as greedy as we always have been. There's no change. The only thing that's changed is our tools, our technology. And I'm sure if we were able to, again, I'm not talking about aliens, but I'm sure if we were to go back and be able to go back in time and really visit and see what the hell happened in ancient civilizations, I'm sure we'd find some pretty amazing technology that they used to do similar things back then. We got to remember, every time, archaeologists, they keep finding stuff. And we keep learning that ancient man was not as stupid and dumb as we think that they were. They were rather brilliant. They were rather knowledgeable. And that they still have secrets that we can't figure out how the hell they did stuff back then if they didn't have all the technology that we have today. So they had different technology, obviously. So the only difference today is that we have this kind of technology versus what they had back then. But otherwise, we're still the same. Not an iota. You could put, well, I'm sure that, we've had a lot of these. Well, God, I hope this is, well, who knows if it's true or not, but I hope it won't be true. But if you were ever to take somebody from today and send them back in time, like say 5,000 years, they'd probably feel right at home. Other than their surroundings and technology would be different, they still feel right at home. Why? Because human nature is human nature. Everybody around them is still going to be the same. Just like if you were to bring somebody from the past into the future, sure, they'd be confused by our big cities and skyscrapers and technology of today, but they'd get used to it really quick because the people around them would be the same as the people that surrounded them back in the day. The court, the Pharaoh's court, the king's court, king and queen's court back, 500 years ago. You bring them forward today and plant them in Washington, D.C., and they'd be right at home. Because there'd be no difference. Just saying. NRSC poll now says that Moore trails his opponent Jones in Alabama by 12 points. Wasn't he up by 16 not too long ago? Now, I haven't been keeping a close track on the Moore-Jones race in Alabama, but wasn't he once up 16 points? And now he's down by 12? Why? Because they weaponize this. I know there are people are saying that, well, Rod, you can't ignore all these women are lying, Rod. Well, it's possible, yes. So far, the women that have come forward, there's something about their stories I don't believe. And there have been people that have been pointing out different aspects of the various stories from these different women. Like, the one woman said that when she was a girl, she gave him a cell phone number. There were no cell phones back in 1977. There were mobile phones, but they were in your car. And they were operated by, you couldn't make a direct call on a mobile phone back then. You had an operator. You picked up your mobile phone, you got an operator, you say, operator, connect me with whoever, and give them the phone number, whatever. And that's how the mobile phones work. They were like radios. They were not real phones as we know them. So she didn't have and unless you were wealthy or it was a business expense because you were a salesman, you didn't have a mobile phone. So I guess there's a story out there from one of these. She gave him Moore her phone number. Nobody had more than one phone number unless you were a business. If you had a house, at home, everybody had one line. I know on rare occasions did somebody else did people put in a second line for, like, say their chatty kids, their daughter or son, mostly daughter, may have tied up the phone so much so instead of putting a restriction on the phone, they just brought it in. But you know how expensive that was? Having two phone lines in your house in 1977 was not cheap. Having one phone line was a major expense. It was a utility expense. Phones were not the way they are today, just cheap. Back in the day, they were expensive. Nobody had multiple phone numbers back then. And there are other red flags about certain things that just doesn't jive with the history of the late 70s. There are people that are saying that one of the stories, I guess, was that, they drove to the back of the mall. To the back of some mall. But the only problem was that in 1977 and 78 and even into 1980, that particular mall didn't exist. Now, you would think that they would be able to get all this stuff right. If they're making up stories, you'd think they'd be able to get this stuff right. And now we find out that Gloria Allred doesn't want to release the yearbook to have the signature of the alleged signature of Judge Roy Moore in the yearbook analyzed by neutral handwriting experts. Now, if you don't want to have that, there's a reason why. And don't tell me, well, she's afraid they're going to destroy it. You can be in the room while they analyze it. And both sides can find somebody that they trust. It's not that difficult. But she refused. Now, I'm telling you that there is a story here that says that Gloria Allred was caught practicing writing Judge Moore's signature. Now, I don't know if that's true, but all this stuff is just coming forward, is coming out, and there's just as much speculation about all this other stuff as there is about the stuff, accusing Moore of these vast deeds. I mean, it's just insanity. All because somebody has decided to go ahead and tell all the people who really are victims of sexual abuse, past and present, that their victimization is really meaningless because they've just gone ahead and they've weaponized sexual assault.
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
The NRSC, the National Republican Senatorial Committee, did the poll and found over Sunday and Monday and found that Moore was down down behind Jones 51-39, and that was after 5 women accused Moore of pursuing them as teenagers. And now these are just people that are throwing accusations. Folks, this is how backwards this stuff is. You have women that 40 years later coming out of the woodwork, some of them really have been proven to be quite questionable. Some of the 5. as to what took place 40 years ago, and all of a sudden they're coming forward. And all of a sudden, everybody is supposed to abandon Moore. Even though he hasn't been charged with anything, and he hasn't been found convicted of anything, he hasn't been, to court on any of this stuff, you have those in the National Republican Senatorial Committee that is suggesting that if Moore wins in December 12th in Alabama, that he should be expelled from the Senate and barred from ever serving over allegations. Because the seriousness of the charge, Rod. Well, then how is it that we still have people in Washington serving who've been accused of sexual harassment and other sexual allegations to the tune of where we have a special fund out there that has just come to light that we've paid at least $15 million out to people who were victimized by sitting congressmen and senators. But Moore is the only one that shouldn't be allowed to take the seat, even if the people of Alabama look at all this evidence, whatever evidence there is, and decide, well, this evidence isn't true. We don't believe it. It's kind of like saying, hey, Moore, you can actually be charged, go to trial, and be found innocent by a jury of your peers, and we're still going to prevent you from being a senator because we don't like you and we believe the women. Well, it's not up to you. But take a look at this. We have all of this stuff about Moore, and everybody's believing Moore, with no evidence, really. There is none. It's just a he said, she said thing. And yet we have evidence galore about the child pedophilia ring out there in Hollywood, and Corey Feldman is leading the way, and we have numerous actors, former child stars who have admitted that they've seen this or they have been victimized by this, and nobody takes them seriously. Oh, we don't believe you. But hey, we believe 5 women who were supposedly girls back in 1977 who claimed that Moore groped them, touched them, tried to have sex with them, kissed them, took them for rides, all while they gave out their cell phone numbers and taking them for rides behind a mall that didn't exist back then. Anybody notice that this is called weaponizing of sexual allegations? So all the people who have really, truly been victimized by sexual predators have just been thrown under the bus because politics takes a front seat and the swamp doesn't want to lose any of its power. And by the way, can we stop with all the apologizing for Bill Clinton? This is ridiculous. Yeah, it just goes to show that they know that they were hypocrites and are hypocrites, and that they were hypocritical back when Bill Clinton was accused of all kinds of sexual impropriety. And we know that Bill Clinton actually got caught doing some of it. And so now they want to go back, well, maybe we were wrong about Bill, and Bill was a sexual predator, and, we're sorry about that. Give me a freaking break. I don't want to hear or see or read about another freaking apology, call it an apology tour, I guess. Another apology for what you did with Bill Clinton. Because the lamestream media and the left practically destroyed every single woman that ever came forward against Bill Clinton. And we don't have any charge. Was there a charge of rape against Moore? I don't think there was any charges of rape for many of these women. But we have had charges of rape against Bill Clinton, and they threw those charges under the bus, and they stomped on those women who accused Bill of rape. We even have I've mentioned this before, we even have a young man out there, was he in his 30s now, who claims that Bill Clinton is his daddy, his biological father. And nobody in the press really wants to talk to him and give him the light of day. But they're sorry now that they didn't take things more seriously about Bill Clinton back then. and that they're trying to make up for it by taking things real seriously with Judge Moore today. Give me a... I'm sick of this hypocrisy. By the way, speaking of the Hollywood stuff, did you hear Kevin Spacey in England has been accused by... There's 20 more cases against him? He's done.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey.
Marcia Gay Harden? What?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye? I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Every day, 70,000 puppies or kittens are born in the U.S. Cute, right? What's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents, which leads to millions killed in shelters each year. Turns out, those little cuties can get pregnant sooner than you think. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. When you bring home a pet, get them fixed at 4 months old. Prevent more. Fix at month 4. Visit fixat4.com for more information. Brought to you by Best Friends Animal Society.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event!
Promises to one's community.
Helping people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late, we stay informed, we invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle,
None are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Welcome back. Hey, this whole thing about... Look, folks, I got to tell you, this is how we know that they are prepared. This is just the beginning. This whole weaponizing of the sexual assault stuff, this is just the beginning. And it is going to be a massive tool. Be prepared. It is going to be a massive tool utilized by the left in 2018 and 2020. Don't doubt me. How do I know? Because the sacrificial lambs that they have utilized, they've already begun apologizing all over the place. You know, we've got the media apologizing for not recognizing that Bill Clinton was a sexual predator and protecting him and promoting him. And they're apologizing for ignoring certain aspects. You know, they had all these wonderful, for years and years and years, they had all these safety mechanisms in place, right? And they're apologizing for not paying attention or utilizing those safety mechanisms they had in place to the full extent that they were supposed to have been used. As a point in reference, Kevin Spacey, Old Vic Theatre in the UK. Old Vic Theatre. Is that in the UK? In any case. Old Vic Theatre finds 20 allegations of inappropriate behavior by Kevin Spacey. The Old Vic has received allegations from 20 people that say they were victims of inappropriate behavior by Kevin Spacey. Now, the London Theatre said it had received the claims over Spacey's alleged conduct during an 18-year period between 1995 and 2013. Let me repeat. Between 1995 and 2013. Spacey, who was also an Old Vic artistic director between 2004 and 2015, already faces a police investigation in the UK over an alleged sexual assault in London. Releasing the conclusion of its investigation, the Old Vic Theatre said in a statement yesterday, despite having the appropriate escalation process in place, it was claimed that those affected felt unable to raise concerns and that Kevin Spacey operated without sufficient accountability. This is clearly unacceptable. The Old Vic truly apologizes for not creating an environment or culture where people felt able to speak freely. So they let this guy do whatever he did by ignoring people who were utilizing the procedures already in place to report such a thing. They ignored him for nearly 20 years. And now they want to apologize for ignoring you for nearly 20 years. The apology tours are in full swing for people. So this whole notion that Kevin Spacey and Weinstein and a few others are sacrificial lambs so the Democrats can use this now and weaponize this and use it against Republicans in 2018 and 2020. We already had Bryan Cranston out there talking. They were asking, well, is there a way for people like Weinstein and Spacey to come back into the fold? Bryan Cranston said, yes, there's a way for them to be accepted back. You know, it's going to take some time, and it's going to take some work, but if they work on being sorry, truly sorry, and they can prove that they're truly sorry, sure, it's going to take some time, but in a few years, people will begin to trust them, and they can come back again. Folks, the fix is on. I mean, here at first I thought, well, maybe they were getting Weinstein because he was such a huge Clinton donor and huge Clinton supporter. But maybe all this stuff was a setup. I hate to... Rod, you're just so suspicious. Well, we're talking about Democrats here. We're talking about liberals. They will stoop to no low in order to win. And this is, don't doubt me, folks. I mean, come on, put two and two together. All of a sudden, you've got 20 allegations that they knew about over a nearly 20-year period against Kevin Spacey. Now they're apologizing for not doing anything about it. You got the lamestream media coming out, article after article and op-ed after op-ed, basically apologizing for being hypocrites on Bill Clinton. And apologizing for standing by Hillary Clinton when she was standing by her man. And you have people trying to separate by saying, well, it was different what Bill did versus what Moore did. I mean, yeah, I'm hearing, by women who were not credible. But, all the Bill Clinton women were not credible, but all of the women, the 5 women against Judge Moore are credible. Why? Because they have Gloria Allred standing by them? She herself is not all that credible in my book. So this is just amazing stuff. So now we have this the apology tour is on, folks. You're going to see more of it. You're going to see more articles and op-ed pieces of people outing themselves. Oh, we're just so sorry we didn't pay attention before. We let this stuff go too far. This is why it's where it is. This is why we need to stop all the sexual predatoring now. This is the conclusion that they're coming to. Oh, we were wrong over the past 20 or 30 years. We weren't paying attention. We didn't want to believe women against these powerful men and blah, 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 blah. But now we understand and know how wrong we were, and we've got to put a stop to it now. We can't allow it to go any further. That is what they're saying. And that means that they are about to, and they've already launched the nuclear option or weapon as far as politics is concerned when it comes to sexual allegations. Because now all you got to do is put a few women in front of a camera and say, yeah, this politician or this future politico or wannabe politico, he touched me, groped me, whatever. He took me behind a mall that didn't exist 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. It doesn't matter. And then everybody is going to say, well, then you should not run. You cannot run. You should pull out of the race. And if you don't pull out of the race, and if you happen to win, we're going to kick you out. They've just weaponized sexual impropriety allegations. Don't want somebody to be in the race? Bring somebody forward that accuses them of sexual impropriety. I am sure in about 20 years we're probably going to have robots coming forward. Robots say, yeah, this wannabe politico, he was one of my best customers, as she says in a robotic voice. Don't doubt me on this, folks. They've just politicized and weaponized sexual allegations. And you can say, well, people have always done this, right? Yeah, but it was never done in this fashion before. Never. Sure, there were a few people that were caught, doing inappropriate things, and it forced them one way or another to, remember the monkey business and Gary Hart? Yeah, that in his political career, basically. But he wasn't accused of doing anything inappropriate. He wasn't accused of doing something inappropriate as attempted rape or groping or anything like that. He was having an affair. And that was what destroyed Gary Hart. He was caught having. That doesn't mean, there are a lot of politicians that had affairs. He just got caught, and he got caught while he was trying to run for president. I mean, it's something you just don't do. But there was no sexual impropriety there. The woman that he was, fooling around with was fully wanted to fool around with him. But here we now have people who are coming forward trying to say and accuse other people without any proof. And everybody's supposed to, everybody's running and hiding right now because of so many people. This is amazing. So now all of a sudden we've got big donors of the Democrat Party on the left who are accused of sexual impropriety, both straight and gay. And so now, of course, it couldn't be left. You can't be alone. They can't be alone in this. They have to bring in some Republican. Oh, that's Judge Moore. Not only have they weaponized sexual allegations, they've nuclearized it. It's now the nuclear option. If you want to get rid of a candidate, you can't get rid of him any other way. Just press that nuclear sexual allegation button, and you're going to kill him. Because if this poll is correct, the NRC poll, in other words, after being accused by 5 women, he dropped. It's like a 30-point spread here. So, I mean, that's trust me. If Jones wins the election outright in Alabama, you can damn well better that the Democrats, the liberals, are going to use this type of system or weapon again in 2018 and 2020. You can be guaranteed that they're going to do it. And if Moore does happen to pull it out and win, and McConnell, the idiot that he is, goes ahead and tries to kick him out, well, that's just going to give credence to the Democrats. See? Told you that he was dirty. Even his own people don't want him in there and kicked him out. And they will use it again in 2018 and 2020. I'm telling you, they've just nuclear weaponized sexual allegations. They tried doing it with... the reason why they didn't do it so much before now is because they tried doing it with Clarence Thomas. Anybody remember that? And it didn't work. It did. Well, Clarence Thomas was pretty brilliant. He gave a speech. This is this is an electronic lynching for uppity blacks. Thomas was too smart for him and put them all back in their place. But so they haven't tried it. They haven't tried it since then. But now, with all that has been put in place, it now is as soon as isn't it funny how we all this time that Judge Moore was doing, his public service, judge, blah, all that kind of stuff, public service, not a single allegation. Now, after the Harvey Weinstein, all throughout this whole process too, in Alabama, nothing. But now, after we have the Harvey Weinstein, the Kevin Spacey, and all the other Hollywood stuff, allegations out there, now it's appropriate to bring out because they see that it can work now. Now it's okay to bring out allegations against Judge Moore. Yep. You still don't think that they nuclear weaponized sexual allegations? Guarantee you that they're going to use it again. By the way, I just got this picture from Twitter. From CS. The agent is on the job. There's a picture of Al Franken. Looks like he's literally molesting a a military person, a female military person. Are we going to hear anything about Al Franken now? Well, of course, he's probably going to say, well, this was just a joke, Rod. It was just a joke. You can't take this seriously. Look at this picture. You can't take it. Now, the picture is evidently from like 2007, 2008 or something like that, going back 10 years or so. But why didn't anybody bring it forth before, man? That's what they're going to say. Nobody bothered to be. Nobody's bothered by this 10 years ago. Why are they bothered by it now? Because they were bothered by something that Judge Roy Moore is accused of doing 40 years ago. And we have Kevin Spacey doing the nasty deeds over a 20-year period since 1995. That's why. But something tells me that the left is probably making a big mistake. They're miscalculating here because honestly, sure, they're going to get some Republicans. They're going to get some Republicans caught up in this. The problem is I think they're going to be outnumbered by the number of Democrats that get embroiled in this. It's probably going to be a ratio of 5-1. Do you think the Democrats can afford to lose any more seats on a 5-1 ratio?
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. You know, there's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people. You suck.
I know some people are saying that you can't use sex as a weapon, though. Sex can't be weapon. Well, first of all, yes, sex can be weaponized, and it's been used in the spy game for centuries. But if you still don't believe that sex can be weaponized, then you don't know about the hairdresser case. Yes, a gay hairdresser going by the name of Daryl Rowe. No evidence that there is any relations with the Dirty Jobs host Mike Rowe. You know, Mike Rowe was once wrongly accused of being gay himself. Yeah, I mean, somebody said, yeah, Mike Rowe's gay. Mike Rowe's engaged to a woman. Well, I know doesn't mean anything really too much anymore, but it's good enough to say that Mike is most likely not a gay man, Mike Rowe. But no relationship to Daryl Rowe, evidently. He's a hairdresser, used to be a hairdresser anyway. He's been found guilty of deliberately trying to infect at least 10 men with HIV after meeting them on Grindr. No, Grindr is, I thought it was called Tinder. I'm sorry. Getting behind myself here. Or should I say ahead of myself? No double entendre there. Grindr is the gay Tinder, is it not? Yes. So Daryl Rowe was convicted of 5 counts of grievous bodily harm with intent and 5 counts of attempting to do so on Wednesday afternoon in court. The 27-year-old Rowe sat motionless as the verdicts were announced just before 4 p.m. Now, it doesn't say how many years or what type of punishment that he is facing in this particular story. We'll have to find out. But yeah, this guy evidently knew that he was HIV positive, and these men are some of them actually contracted the disease, the virus, and have said that Rowe did this intentionally, and he was convicted of doing so intentionally. Why would you do that? What is wrong with people? Well, it's a weapon. It's a weapon. It's biological warfare. It's a biological weapon. And evidently this guy, now I'm told that this guy could face up to a total of 20 years. Is that accurate? Up to 20 years. Well, is it enough? Well, HIV/AIDS is no longer HIV is no longer a death sentence. But these people will have to live with this for the rest of their life, unless we find a cure for it. So is 20 years long enough? If that's what he gets, I don't know. I'm not here to pass judgment. I don't know I haven't been following this case. I don't know all the details of it, but I'm just here to tell you that you can weaponize sex and use it as a weapon, and that there are people that are doing it now. And this particular young man, who's not even 30, 27 years old, over the past few years has been going out with men that he's found on Grindr. Shouldn't those other guys have been using protection too? Is it just Daryl Rowe's fault? Oh, nobody takes responsibility for their own actions anymore, huh? No, nobody takes responsibility. And people are trying to tell me that we're more enlightened today than we've ever been. Really? Just not buying that. I don't think that the Dark Ages mankind ever came out of the Dark Ages. Seriously. Just look at our political system. You want to tell me that's an enlightened system?
It was just another quiet Saturday at the Johnson home.
Honey, have you seen the hammer?
It's in the garage.
Oh, no, not the garage.
Later that same day...
Dad, I can't find the bicycle pump.
Son, I'm afraid it's in the garage.
The garage?
Then the following Tuesday...
Howard, where's the car?
It's in the garage.
Does your garage look like a giant yard sale without the yard? Do you cringe at the thought of entering your garage? Then you need Crest Garage Cabinets. With one phone call, those wonderful folks at Crest will come out to your home, design the best combination of cabinets for you, and install them quickly and professionally before your very eyes.
It's a miracle.
And unlike other companies who ask for a down payment or money up front, you won't pay a penny until your Crest cabinets are installed to your satisfaction. So call Crest today, toll-free at 1-800-548-2848. That's 1-800-548-2848. And you'll never fear going into your garage again.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine. It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound.
It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge. Number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show. Yes, the fastest 3 hours on Internet Talk Radio is right here, powered by Zinc Media Arts. Glad that you're here on this Thursday, November number 16 in the year of our Lord 2017. I just can't, with 2 hours already done and in the can. And we got another hour to go here, so strap yourselves in, because it's going to be there's going to be a bumpy truth ride coming in right here. Media matters. I know you never should start off anything by saying media matters. But be that as it may. I know, because Media Matters is a far left-wing media outlet. And Media Matters is much like the Huffington Post and all those other, far left-wing media outlets. They must think we stupid, because of their how they report stuff and what they report. But Media Matters is reporting with glee, I might add, about Sean Hannity. Yes, they're taking on Sean Hannity, don't you know? Because Sean Hannity was talking about the Keurig machines, and that he didn't say anything nasty about the Keurig. And Keurig's CEO came out to say that we didn't say anything nasty about Sean Hannity. And Hannity said, well, I'll look into it, Keurig. And he told all his peoples out there not to be destroying their Keurig machines on TV and on the YouTube. Because that's what they were doing, don't you know? But evidently, other advertisers are distancing themselves from Hannity. According to Media Matters, more advertisers have dropped Hannity. HelloFresh, Hubble Contacts, and the Society for Human Resource Management, Hebrew National, those wonderful Jewish hot dogs, Ready Whip, Untuckit, and Volvo have joined a growing list of companies that have distanced themselves from Sean Hannity's Fox News program by either removing their ads or indicating they will not advertise on his show in the future. Oh, so they're not pulling their ads now. They're just not going to. When is the future? That's what I like to know. What is the future? The Society for Human Resource Management went a step further and ceased advertising on Fox News entirely. The departure comes as Hannity continues to run interference for Roy Moore by undermining and maligning the women who spoke out against the Alabama Senate. You know, I heard Hannity. He hasn't been maligning any of them. In fact, Hannity, what was it yesterday? Hannity gave Moore 24 hours to explain himself. It was all over the news. He said it on I heard it. Look, I gave him 24 hours to explain himself. Especially after the so-called yearbook entry came out. He said, Roy Moore's got 24 hours to explain himself and explain this. Now, I don't know how the hell that's maligning women. When he's trying to force Moore to comment or explain the reason behind that entry, if it's his signature or not. So I mean, but Media Matters, of course, is just acting with glee. And all that's one. No, that is just my bad Irish accent. Don't you know? They're all out there acting like this is just wonderful news that Hannity's. Some of these advertisers I've never even heard of. I mean, I know Untuckit, but Volvo, but wait, Hannity was just promoting Untuckit yesterday. These people, they get giddy if a single advertiser pulls, and half the time when you dig a little bit further, it has nothing to do with what Hannity said. It's just the program that they're stopped advertising on. Some of them, their ad spend budgets for the year are done, or they're changing their advertising tactics, or they don't want to pay the higher price that they're going to be charged for advertising because the show does so well. Remember back when people were talking, they were all giddy about all those advertisers leaving Rush Limbaugh. I think it was due when Rush went into rehab or something for his painkiller addiction. And come to find out that most of those advertisers didn't go anywhere. They stopped advertising for a little while, but most of them came back, and most of them that did come back changed their advertising. Some of them left because they didn't want to continue paying the high price that it cost to advertise on Rush. It had nothing to do with Rush going to rehab. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, you don't advertise someplace because you don't have the budget to spend the money there. Because some advertising places are because they reach a huge audience. Is not cheap. So this is what we're going to find out with the Hannity stuff, too. I mean, some of these people just can't afford to advertise on Hannity. And some of them won't be able to afford to advertise on Rush, and so in other places. It doesn't. You never hear Media Matters talking about companies that abandon, quote unquote, abandon liberal shows, be they on TV or radio. Well, there aren't any. Are there any really liberal radio shows? I haven't really. There's no big national liberal. Who's a big national liberal celebrity? I don't know. There aren't any. I can't think of one. No, Alan. Well, I guess if you go to Alan, maybe he's the biggest one. I suppose. I don't know. And if you stretch it, I guess you can claim that some of the Republican leaning. I know people have said that Glenn Beck is kind of liberal. No, he's a libertarian. He's leaning nut job libertarian as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know any big. Alan Combs is the only one that comes to mind. Anybody here? I don't even know what stations that. I can't hear Alan. Well, I guess you can hear him online, but I can't hear Alan Combs. I don't think he's on any station in New England. You would think that Alan Combs would be on a station here in New England. I don't think Alan Combs is on a station here in New England. I would have to check, but you would think that he'd be all over the place in Massachusetts, but he's not. Alan, well, I'm sorry, that's right. Alan, when did he pass away? Did he pass it? Yes, he did pass away. I remember Sean Hannity mentioning that. He did. Well, he wasn't on the air at any time here in New England. But again, he was the only one I could think of. Yeah, I just did a Joe Biden on that one. Sorry, folks. Yes, that's right. He did pass away. It was this year, wasn't it? This past year? Within a few months ago. But he wasn't on the air anywhere in New England when he was broadcasting. So I don't know of another liberal commentator out there. Big one. So, yes, I did a Biden. You know, when Joe Biden was out there on the campaign trail, stand up, Chuck. Oh, good grief, everybody! No, sorry, Chuck. You can everybody stand up for Chuck, will you? All right, because Chuck was in a wheelchair. But yeah, other than Alan Combs, and everybody spoke very nicely about, even those on the right, and Hannity even spoke eloquently of Alan Combs, and yeah, I'd forgotten that he had passed away a few months ago, but he's the only person I could think of that was a national big time liberal radio show host, but I don't know of any others. By the way, let us see. What are we going to get into? Got to get some stuff here on the tax debate, the tax reform. We'll get into that after the break. We got some other stuff. Some other stuff? You know that there are people out there saying that, folks. I'm not kidding about this either. Anna Wintour. Does everybody know who Anna Wintour is? Wintour. Anna Wintour. Well, she is the person that is featured. Well, is supposed to be featured. She's the basis for Meryl Streep's character in The Devil Wears Prada. That's supposed to be all Anna Wintour. Well, evidently, Anna Wintour spoke with Meryl Streep and did an interview or something like that, and believes that Meryl Streep should run for office. Now, how is it? Now, I find this fascinating, actually. I find it fascinating. You have... Well, only in Hollywood do you play a character on the big or small screen, and then you become an expert in that character's field of expertise. So obviously, if you play the president in a movie, then you are now an expert and highly qualified to actually be president of the United States. So I'm guessing that if you play a physicist on the big or small screen, you now have the expertise to actually comment and be interviewed about physics. Anything physics. Well, this is how we seem to treat these people that they play. I don't know, somebody, an environmentalist wacko trying to save a river somewhere, and all of a sudden, because they play that character, now everybody goes to them and wants their opinion because they're now an expert on saving rivers. So I guess Anna Wintour believes that Meryl Streep did such a wonderful job being her, and that Meryl Streep has done such a wonderful job playing other characters that somehow she'd be an awesome person to play the character in real life of a politician. Yeah, remember what her speech at the Oscars? Anybody remember that? That was, so anti-Trump. Yeah, I guess that's why she should be. Anyway, so Anna Wintour believes that Meryl Streep should run for office. And by the same token, by the way, Amy Schumer believes that Anna Wintour should run for office. They switch, for a day. Amy pretended to be Anna, and Anna pretended to be Amy. And Amy, after pretending to be Wintour for a day, has come to the conclusion that Wintour is a very smart, bright, brilliant woman, much like Hillary Clinton, and she should also run for public office.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
Naam
Franken, this just in. Al Franken is now all of a sudden apologizing for his actions back in, it was 2006. Senator Al Franken apologized after a woman accused him of kissing and groping her without her consent back in 2006. Now, he says, I certainly don't remember the rehearsal for this skit in the same way, but I send my sincerest apologies to Leanne. Why do you need to rehearse? Now, folks, pay attention to this. As to the photo that is now out there that has exploded on Twitter, it was clearly intended to be funny, Franken said, but I shouldn't have done it. Now, his comments are coming after a woman published a piece on earlier today on KABC, where she is a morning news anchor, accusing Franken of kissing and groping her without her consent during a USO tour back in December of 2006. Leanne Tweeden, on Twitter, yes, that is her name, Leanne Tweeden, said Franken was the headliner on the tour and told her he had written some lines for her in a skit he put together. Wink, wink. Franken had written in a moment when his character comes at me, she says, for a kiss. She said Franken insisted that the two rehearse the scene, during which he put his hand on the back of my head and mashed his lips against mine and aggressively stuck his tongue in my mouth. On the flight back to the USA, Tweeden says, she fell asleep and later saw a photo of Franken groping her. It wasn't until I was back in the USA and looking through the CD of photos that were given to me by the photographer that I saw this one, that she said. I felt violated all over again. Embarrassed, belittled, humiliated. How dare anyone grab my breasts like this and think that it was funny. So Frank, there's a picture of this guy doing. Now, there's no. I don't think there's a picture of him trying to of him kissing her. But yeah, let me write a skit. You want to talk about a way of getting around sexual misconduct, write a story or a skit or a bit or a scene where you get to do that to a person. You know, kiss them or grope them and to say, hey, let's rehearse this. Let's rehearse this, shall we? We're going to rehearse me groping you or me kissing you or me fondling you. And then we're going to actually do it for real. So we're going to do it we got to make sure we get it right. Just rehearse it. No, maybe that's why so many people in Hollywood got away with doing this stuff for so long. Because everybody thought they were rehearsing. You know, for a TV show or a movie or for a play on stage or something. Everybody is rehearsing. Well, we're just rehearsing these scenes. So there is no real sexual, connotation behind it. We're just rehearsing. Anybody buying that stuff? You're going to write a skit where you get to kiss somebody and you're going to rehearse it? Why do you need to rehearse kissing? Maybe I made a mistake by not getting in, staying in acting and moving to New York or Hollywood or something. So maybe I should have. Hey, look, you get to make out with a bunch of pretty women, right? Isn't that the way it goes? I don't know. Well, I guess unless you're Kevin Spacey. Then but he hasn't been in anything. He hasn't played a gay character or anything. But there are a lot of straight actors that have played gay. So I guess that's the other thing. You get to do something that you normally don't have the guts to do in real life, I guess. Well, James Franco, how many times has he played a gay character? So many times and he's done so well that people actually think that he's gay. Now, I don't know if he is or isn't, doesn't really matter, but you get to do stuff like that if you're in Hollywood. I guess that's why everybody wants to be in Hollywood. They get to pretend and rehearse. And did you know? Got a story here. about, you got some porno executives saying that the internet has killed porno studios, but did you know that there is a YouTube video out there that actually identifies movies, real movies, R-rated, NC-17, and PG movies, where the actors actually did the deed on camera. They didn't pretend. They actually did it. No wonder people are so confused about what sexual impropriety is out in Hollywood.
You might be surprised to learn who has Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Nearly 1 in 200 Americans are suffering with the debilitating pain and constant disruption of these inflammatory bowel diseases, or IBD. Chances are you know someone with IBD. For example, your neighbor or coworker. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation was created to help patients cope and to find a cure. People with IBD can't wait. Won't you help someone you know? Visit www.escapethestall.com today.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C, but most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? Shifting to a system based on primary care can help fix the problem. Patients with a primary care doctor live longer, healthier lives and are less likely to suffer from cancer, heart disease, or stroke. Primary care that is comprehensive and coordinated also saves money. Patients who have a primary care doctor spend 30% less on health care than patients who don't. States with a high number of primary care doctors have lower health care costs and higher quality care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
The Amazon's rainforest is being cut down so fast that by 2030, 55% of it could be completely wiped out. The Earth's forests can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey.
Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye. I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Those basketball players, the three basketball players that were caught stealing while in China, they were shoplifting, and they came back to the United States, after Trump said something to President Xi Jinping, and was able to secure their release and get, they basically were expelled from China, but they came back and people were speculating whether or not they would thank the president for getting them out of, because they didn't want to end up like Otto Warmbier. Remember that case? But that was North Korea, not China. But they were for the shoplifting charges. I get from what I understand, they were facing up to 10 years in Chinese prison, which means that they probably wouldn't have lasted any longer than Mr. Warmbier did up in North Korea. The Chinese prison system. The world kind of laughs at our prison system. Because we really do, most of our prisoners, it's like they're in a hotel. Now the only ones that really get punished are those that are in isolated or isolated confinement. At some of these supermax prisons where these guys are locked up for 23 hours a day basically. Yeah, those are real prisons. Other prisons in this country tend to be more of a country club-like atmosphere. They got TVs and they can play games. They got equipment and libraries and law library. They got all access to all kinds of stuff that would normally cost you and me, the law-abiding citizen who doesn't get in trouble and get locked up, costs us thousands of dollars a year. We don't get gym memberships for free. I know some. Well, yeah, I do, Rod, because it's included with my condo. Well, no, you're paying for it. We don't get it for free, but inmates do. Well, no, they're paying the price. No, they're paying their price for being locked up is being locked up, but they're not even really locked up. So they get to do that kind of stuff. But here, so these three guys, they come back and they do apologize. And they thank the president for getting them out of the way, or out of harm's way in China. But I'm thinking, why the hell would they even do that? Why do you think you go to another person's country and do stuff? Nobody knows you. You're not a star over there. But first of all, you're college athletes. You're not stars. Second of all, why would you do that in another man's country? Especially when you're not Asian. Now, I guess these three players, they were, at least part black. And, of course, my response was, well, yeah, I'll say it. You can take the kid out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of the kid. And I have some of the, now I'm sure they're liberals. They're saying, well, they live in, their families live in well-established, well-heeled neighborhoods, Rod. How can you say they're ghetto? Like, I mean, are you serious? I mean, just because you live in an expensive neighborhood doesn't mean that you didn't come from the ghetto. They have a ghetto mentality. They went someplace and they thought maybe it'd be funny if they could get away with stealing from shopkeepers in China. They couldn't. They got caught. They got arrested, and they were facing some serious time, and now they're all sorry about it. Give me a freaking break. But in any case, the criminality of people is, it doesn't matter if if their parents all of a sudden make a lot of money or if they don't make it. Rich people can be ghetto too. Doesn't matter. But there is somebody who isn't going to be taking this lying down, because everybody's wondering, well, what do the parents think of these kids, man? What do the parents think? Well, here's Fox's. I don't even know why they even bring this to light, but Fox News has a story here. Mom punishes her son for being suspended by the school. How does she punish him? She's making him work for free for others. A Louisiana mom found a creative way to punish her son for getting suspended from school. She put the boy to work for free for others while he was missing his classes. Demetrius Payne quickly came up with a punishment for her son rather than letting him get a 3-day break from school. She posted his photo on Facebook last Friday, offering his services at Odd Jobs for free. My son has been suspended for 3 days from school for discipline, she wrote, according to the San Francisco Chronicle. He will do your lawn service. He will rake your yard, mow if you supply the mower, pick up trash or whatever, or wash your car for free. Maximum of 3 hours. If anyone has a rake they would like to donate, will be awesome. So she's put a time limit, 3 hours. So she's, you don't get to have the kid do everything for you for nothing. The post quickly got attention of many people who took her up on her offer, and Payne even had to create a schedule to keep track of all the jobs that the son had to do. Payne later posted a photo on Facebook featuring her son working as promised. And she said, "First yard is now completed. He thought I was playing. Mama don't play. Mama don't play that." And the young teenage son, looks like he's 13 or 14 years old. I guess this mom is not gonna allow the ghetto to stay in her son. Good for her. Good for her. Rubio is back in the news, but not for what you think. Trump evidently took a swig. I'm going to admit it. It was kind of an awkward moment. Trump getting a drink of water from his bottled water during his speech. Well, Rubio, who's also famous for doing the same thing in an awkward moment during a speech that he gave during a 2013 TV appearance, he funnily mocked the president. Trolled the President Trump for his awkward reach for a drink of water during a Wednesday television address, comparing it to his own famous hydration break back during a 2013 TV appearance. Rubio tweeted, "Similar but needs work on his form." Similar but needs work on his form, has to be done with one single motion, and eyes should never leave the camera, but not bad for his first time. At least Rubio can laugh at himself. He obviously doesn't take himself all that seriously, which is, well. But wait, he's taking a jab. Didn't Trump say that Rubio had small hands, or was that Rubio? I don't know. You know what that was? Small feet or something. Or people were saying Trump had small. I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't really matter. I don't remember. There was something said about small feet, small hands, small stature. Yeah, Rubio was short, I suppose. I don't know. I've never met the man personally. I don't know how tall he was. He's 5'9". It's pretty average. Okay, so I'm short too. And NBC Getting back to the sexual stuff, NBC fires a top booking exec for inappropriate conduct with woman. Yes. The Wrap is reporting this. Recently learned of the executive's sexual misconduct. NBC Universal fired senior vice president for booking news and entertainment, Matt Zimmerman. Following accusations of sexual misconduct, the company announced Tuesday, "We have recently learned that Matt Zimmerman engaged in inappropriate conduct with more than one woman at NBCU, which violated company policy. As a result, he has been dismissed." I'm guessing this is due to their sexual harassment policy and clause. Again, just being accused now will get you fired. No proof is necessary because obviously women don't lie about sexual misconduct. Just saying. Hey, if he actually did it, he should be fired. And by the same token, sexual misconduct and dozens of men describe rape and torture in foreign countries. An investigation that has been conducted by the Associated Press has found that more than 50 men from various nations, including Sri Lanka, say that they were raped, branded, and tortured under current governments, especially in Sri Lanka. Now, I wonder if the Associated Press is going to do a story here in the USA about all the male rape, the child male rape that has taken place, especially out in Hollywood. Not going to let this go. Corey Haim is really turning up the heat on this stuff. Corey Feldman is turning up the heat on this out in Hollywood. And he's getting people to take him seriously. Like I mentioned earlier, I reported earlier that the LAPD is investigating his claims, and that there have been some male actors, some big names like Terry Crews has come forward and actually filed formal complaints. So Corey Haim was out there, or Corey Feldman. Corey Haim was his friend. Corey Feldman names another of his abusers. Early this week, Feldman appeared on the Dr. Oz show, where he was presented a photo of a man who Dr. Oz said matched some of the previous statements Feldman had made about one of his abusers. Now, Feldman confirmed he recognized the man, at which point Dr. Oz named him Alfie Hoffman, son of a leading casting director in Hollywood. Now, Hoffman was the owner of an underage club that was popular among Hollywood's top teen stars back in the day, including Drew Barrymore, Ricky Schroeder, Alyssa Milano. Yes, try to say that name 5 times fast. From 86 to 89, the establishment was sponsored by New York Seltzer Company, and Corey Feldman and his pal Corey Haim were frequently photographed there. When you got an invite to go to Bobby Hoffman's private party, this was a very big thing, and the fact that his son was coming to pick me up himself was also a very big thing, Feldman said. My mom ushered me into the car and said, "Go have fun." Now, one night I was over there and we were watching a movie, and I passed out while I was watching the movie, Feldman said, and that when I woke up, there was a porn on. And I was like, man, I'm really tired. I remember I could barely walk. I don't know what I was given at the time, but I know that I was really out of it. And he went to the bedroom, and I was kind of passing in and out. And then it was like he started doing the same things to me that John Grissom had done. I guess John Grissom is a person that Feldman has previously named as having abused him. I kind of woke up in the middle of it and I freaked out. I kind of threw him off me and I ran home, Feldman finished. So Dr. Oz kind of brought forth this name, and Feldman basically, agreed. So the heat's being turned up on people for their pedophilia, the pedophilia ring out there now the question is, remember the DC pizza shop where a man went in, guns a-blazing because he believed that some of the stories that were said about this place were true about child pedophilia rings being operated in DC out of that pizza joint. Well, maybe there's some truth to that. Because now we're starting to get other people coming forward about sexual misconduct against males and male children in Hollywood. This is not going to go away anytime soon, folks. This is going to get a lot more. Now, there is, well, I guess the left could nuclear weaponize child sex as well. But the strange thing is, it's just another one of those things that Democrats do a lot more often than Republicans do.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
The tax fight is about to move forward a little bit. Yes, evidently later today, the House is going to vote on the tax reform package. House Republicans are poised later today to pass a sweeping tax reform package that, if enacted, would deliver the first major legislative victory of the Trump era. President Trump, of course, will visit Capitol Hill ahead of the vote to rally support. But according to the Hill, there appears to be little need to twist arms. Speaker Paul Ryan and fellow leaders have been in a buoyant mood all week, says the Hill, signaling they have the 217 votes needed to pass the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. The days leading up to this vote have been relatively drama-free on the House side. Even the three main GOP factions within the House, the far-right Freedom Caucus, the conservative Republican Study Committee group, and the moderate or liberal Republican Tuesday group, have either backed the bill or stayed on the sidelines. Of course, there is turmoil surrounding the health care debate. And the House version of this, I do believe the Senate is about to add the healthcare Obamacare mandate repeal, where the House doesn't have that. And frankly, if they can put it in there, fine. It shouldn't necessarily be there. It should be something separate, and it should have already been done. But Paul Ryan kind of, greasily squirmed his way out of the question when he was asked, well, why didn't you guys don't have it? And he says, well, if the Senate passes it, then we'll go to committee and we'll reconcile it and we'll probably include it and blah. Like, well, why didn't you just put it in there in the first place, you dolt? And don't say you didn't think of it, because I'm sure that he did think of it. But it's more than just the tax bill anyway. This is it will show the Republicans can get things done, said Representative Dennis Ross out of Florida, senior member of the House Majority Whip. Steve Scalise, vote counting operation. Now, they can get things done. Well, they haven't gotten anything done yet. They really haven't, which is probably the reason why Ryan didn't, but he won't admit it. But the reason why Ryan didn't put any sort of Obamacare mandate repeal in there, because he probably would have lost some Republicans. That's pretty sad to say. By the way, Obamacare is a huge tax on the middle class, but you don't see the Democrats complaining about that. Just giving a tax cut. The rich are getting a tax cut, even though the rich aren't getting a tax cut really at all. And as a matter of fact, you've got a number of liberal left-wing media outlets like the New York Times and the Washington Post out there saying that it's not true that the rich are going to get a tax cut, and the Democrats know this. Actually, is what the Post, Washington Post, is giving them Pinocchios over this tax cut rhetoric. The rich aren't getting the cuts. But only in a Democrat world do people who don't pay any federal income taxes deserve to get a tax cut. Well, how do you get a cut if you don't pay any taxes already? Well, you don't get it's called a handout. They want to increase government handouts to people because government handouts are down. The number of people receiving some sort of government benefits or assistance is dropping and dropping fast. Over 1.5 million people are off the food stamp rolls. Not because they're not because they don't want to be on them, but because they're no longer eligible because they're out there working. They're getting jobs, or they're getting promotions and higher paying jobs. Yeah, you just can't make this stuff up. So you got to wonder. And you got some people in the Senate that are saying, well, this doesn't go far enough, which is true. And we'll talk more about this tomorrow. Tomorrow is Freedom Friday, Open Mic Friday, so you're not going to want to miss it. Going to have some fun tomorrow. But in the meantime, I thank you for being here with me today, this Thursday morning, and I hope you have a wonderful Thursday afternoon. We'll do it all over again in 21 hours. Tell a friend, you share it with a liberal, and get them to listen. I appreciate it. Until then, I'm Rod Eccles. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.